Hey, so a couple of people have commented on me making a video showing off how to use Pathfinder's movement to their advantage. They want to get better with him. So I thought I'd just include some footage from a few matches that I've played to give an idea of how you want to use his grapple all the time for mobility and repositioning. One thing I would recommend to start off, like just to get better with Pathfinder, is use his grapple a lot. Like even when you're not fighting, use it all the time when you're looting. Try to like outrun your teammates, like not to the point of like leaving them behind, but try to always be like ahead of them, and that'll get you in the mentality of going fast with Pathfinder. When you're chasing down an enemy, they're going to be harder to catch than, a teammate, right? So get used to outrunning your teammates and grappling at the right time. Pay attention to these clips. You'll see that I go into a slide, I jump, and then I go into a slide. This keeps up your momentum and keeps your speed going as you're looting, helps you traverse great distances really quickly. Knowing how to do this will be key if you're ever like running away from a team and you're trying to swing away. Doing all these slides and jumps at the correct time will get you out of situations milliseconds faster, which can be the difference between taking a bullet to the face or surviving. I also use his grapple to soften landings and catch momentum. So I drop because I just finished popping a syringe, and I wait, hit the grapple just before I hit the ground, and then swing myself over there. You can also transition it into a slide. Here's another example of using this technique to keep up the momentum. Pathfinder's zipline is excellent at third partying. In this case, I see people, so I set a zipline to go up because I noticed they're already going up. I land at the same time as them, and they don't notice the sound of me landing because what they think they hear when I land is they think that they're hearing their teammate land. And also, the sound of them ziplining creates noise, so they don't hear you ziplining up at the same time as them. During this battle, notice how I reposition this clip. I slide, jump, and then hit a grapple at max distance, getting myself to a new spot. When I'm mid-grapple, I look up. That just pulls me up more when I grapple so that I make sure that I actually get to the side of it so I can climb up. If I didn't do that, I might slightly miss. In these next few clips, I spot the enemies, so I'm seeing if I can get any sniper shots off, but they're too hidden. So I place the zipline ahead of time, and I don't take it right away. I actually wait a few seconds until my teammate breaks his armor. Then rather than taking the zipline, I actually grapple onto the zipline and then disengage midway through the grapple so I don't actually get attached to it, and it launches me up. In this case, I'm using it to get out of the final ring and also to figure out where the enemy team is all at. You want to get yourself the high ground, but at the same time, as soon as they figured out where you are, if you have limited cover, always feel free to just drop down and get rid of the high ground. One thing I like to do is pop a battery in midair so that by the time I'm halfway down, I've already healed up mostly with the battery. Right here, I'm using it to regain the high ground and get a position to snipe. Pathfinder is an excellent sniper because you can always get yourself high ground locations. This next trick is not only useful to Pathfinder, but to any legend that rides on a zipline. It's something I don't see everybody do, but it's worth pointing out. Basically, it involves hopping up and down on a zipline. It makes you a way harder target for snipers, longbows specifically, to hit, as well as regular fire from a distance on single fire mode. The only thing is about it is it works better going down a zipline than going up a zipline, as you'll see. Going up a zipline, it kind of slows you down when you do the hopping thing. So you'll want to hop less so that you can maintain your speed going up and not become too easy of a target. Here's an example of someone using it against me, and I try to burst fire to hit him, but I barely hit. Another technique, but this is Pathfinder specific, so if you're getting shot up, you can always drop off your zipline, wait, and then grapple back up, and then disengage so you launch yourself to your location. Another way to make yourself less of an easy target is to grapple off of something else and onto your zipline. So always be mindful of where your ziplines are and what you can grapple onto in order to launch yourself onto your zipline. Also, always remember to jump for that little bit of extra height, because your grapple only has so long of a length, and if you jump and hit the grapple at the peak of your jump, you'll be able to reach slightly further. Remember that you can always grapple straight onto zip lines, because sometimes they're slightly out of reach, but you could just grapple onto it, and sometimes it's a safer route. You can also hop from zip line to zip line and transition to make yourself a harder target. Just remember, you're Spider-Man. You want to swing onto things more often than grapple directly to them. If you can swing onto something, it makes you a harder target and it's more likely to go the way you plan it to. Whereas if you grapple straight onto a roof, sometimes it won't work out the way you think it will and your grapple will end up getting stuck. Sometimes there's nothing you can grapple onto except things at ground level. But if you see in this clip, you can swing across things at ground level and launch yourself at quick speeds down hills. Another technique all Pathfinders should try to learn is the grapple jump. Basically, it involves hitting a grapple at max length in front of you and then jumping just after it hits. Keep your view level and you push forward around 75% of your max height. And finally transition it into a slide. I don't actually use this move too often, but sometimes it can come in clutch, like when you're trying to avoid a lobby of grenades coming at you. Also remember that you can always swing back and upwards to get onto a roof more easily or to get behind you if someone's flanking you. It's a very useful thing to practice. Anyway, that's a wrap for this video. That's pretty much all the techniques I use from game to game, but I'm sure if I think of others, I'll create a new video and add those in. One thing I recommend looking up is slingshot grappling. I've never done it myself, which is why it's not in the video. It launches you even greater distances than normal swings, and a lot of intermediate players use it. Hope you enjoyed the video and have fun flying on a zipline, friends.
This dude was sliding down, and I was like, oh. And then he hit him in the head. I was like, oh, he's mad. He broke his TV already.
I was right in front of it. I was in front of it. I saw he was coming out the smoke, right? Yeah. Yeah.
I can take out this last squad.
Oh, what? One squad left?
That's
Okay.
that squad. He's healing. He's grabbing everything out of that box. Got a massive. Oh!
Recharging shields.
The octane. Oh my God! Hey,
Yeah, oh my
don't do that! Don't do that! Don't do that!
Hey, don't finish off like this.
Don't do it to him. It's the octane list. Oh. Oh, Bangalore super weak.
Oh! Oh, shit. Oh.
Bro, you better clip that.